At the same time, we wanted to update you on a really significant case that the Supreme Court heard this week. There were oral arguments on Tuesday with regards to a case between a company and a Teamsters local union, where the company basically says that the Teamsters there, they went on strike and they caused damage and the loss of some concrete and some damage to these trucks. And they want to be able to sue the Teamsters local union for those damages. Now, the union side of the story is that the workers actually took a lot of mitigating steps to try to make sure that there was not this type of damage and there was not this type of spoilage of the concrete. So let's go ahead and put this up on the screen from SCOTUS blog here. They say cement truck drivers went on strike. A lawsuit by their company may pave the way for restricting workers' rights. And basically, Saagar, there's two questions at stake here. Number one, is the Supreme Court, do they really even have jurisdiction over this? Because there's already settled law about how you decide whether there was like intentional damage, which just like any sort of property damage, you are liable for. No one is doubting that. But these claims are supposed to be settled by the board that oversees this, the National Labor Relations Board. So question number one is, should this even be in front of the Supreme Court? And then question number two is like on the merits of the case, whether or not this constitutes intentional damage. And a lot of analysts are saying if they side in favor of the company here, this is going to be a real chilling signal for any workers and unions who are contemplating going out on strike, because ultimately, part of the pressure and the point of a strike is to withhold your labor to inflict some economic damage on the company. That's your whole source of leverage. That's why a strike is such a powerful tool. So if you are curtailing the ability to leverage that power that you ultimately have here, no one's saying that you can like go out and actively sabotage or actively damage property, then you could really put a hold on this grassroots labor movement and a lot of the more militant activity that we've been seeing recently.
Yeah, I think it's actually, and this is something that we've always tried to emphasize here. The SCOTUS cases everybody hears about, like gay marriage and abortion, like definitely matter. I'm not saying they don't, but there's a lot of worker stuff, banking regulations, administrative stuff that gets litigated at SCOTUS on the day-to-day level, which has a huge impact on all of you. And nobody does ever any scrutiny with the judges on how they're going to rule on this. There really is not a solid prediction as to which way this is all going to break. The cement workers who are saying, or the cement company, their essential allegation, as I understand it, is because damage occurred when the workers went on strike, even though the damage was not their fault, that they are somehow liable for it because it was part of their job responsibilities. And yet, this would challenge almost a backdoor legality of striking itself, because how can you possibly have a strike without inflicting economic damage on the company? It basically is a backdoor outlawing, or at the very least, like imposing a lot of economic damage and fines on any of these companies. And this could set a different legal standard through which strikes actually even happen, rendering actually the NLRB even more useless, because how can they litigate anything if you have a civil judgment that can always be levied against unions and against workers themselves? I mean, this would be very chilling in terms of the impact that it would have at a broader level.
That's exactly right. And what the company is saying, and this is why this could be so pernicious, is that they deserve to, be able to sue for these damages because of the timing of when the workers went out on strike. They're saying that timing is what created the economic harm and damage to their company, even though, again, the workers took some measures upon themselves to try to mitigate the spoilage of the cement here. And so they're saying like, oh no, but you can't even go out during that time at all. So you can see how that could be applied if the court sides with the company, how that could really be an issue for people who are considering striking across the country. One of the comments that was made from one of the justices, I think it was Justice Roberts, was that, okay, we're trying to figure out the difference between the milk spoiling and killing the cow.
Yes.
And okay, well, that's an easy explanation to see. Okay, they're not at work to milk the cow in this example, so the milk spoils or to deal with the milk and put it in the refrigerator, whatever. Okay, very different from you actually murdered the cows. Everyone would say you can't murder the cows, right? But what you see here is, the cement is sort of the milk in this situation. The cement was ultimately spoiled because the workers weren't there to do the job because they're out on strike protesting for better conditions or whatever they were ultimately fighting for. So it is much more analogous to that sort of a situation. So if they rule even that out of bounds, well, you've opened up Pandora's box for companies to go after unions and to go after workers and to really make it very difficult for workers to strike in any case whatsoever, which is a core fundamental right and this is the tool that workers have in order to be able to force companies to the bargaining table ultimately.
Yeah, we're going to try and track it as well as possible. Oral argument, so decision's not going to happen for quite some time, but could be a landmark case.
Yeah, one to really definitely keep your eye on, and one that, has profound implications that the media will barely cover or touch on. Hey guys, ready or not, 2024 is fully upon us now, and Saagar and I have been brainstorming ways that we can really up our game for this critical election.
Yeah, we rely on our premium subs to expand our coverage, to add staff, to upgrade the studio. We just want to give you the best independent coverage of this election, which is possible. So if you can help us out, become a premium subscriber today, breakingpoints.com, or the link is down here in the description video. It really means the world to us, and if you like what we're all about, this is the best possible way to keep us 100% independent, working only for you.